Microsoft lays off Forza Motorsport staff, NASCAR 25 by iRacing is approaching faster than expected, and Need for Speed seems to have been shelved alongside Speedhunters. My name is Renee, and there are plenty of news to cover in this episode of Sim Racers Monthly, so let's light up those tires and get started. However, note that we recorded this in the morning of July 29th, so Kunos and Razer may well have released more big news regarding Assetto Corsa Evo and Automobilista 2 after we were done. If that should be the case, you will find our coverage about that in the comment section down below. While Forza Horizon had recently been the focus of more positive news due to its PlayStation 5 launch, the franchise's main series, Forza Motorsport, could face the end of the line. Early in July, it emerged that Microsoft laid off up to 9,000 employees, which supposedly included 50% of developer Turn 10 staff. Things could be even worse. Former Turn 10 content coordinator Fred Russell, who left the studio in 2016 but is still connected with his former colleagues, claimed that Turn 10 Studios has shuttered the Forza Motorsport space and the team is no more. Neither Microsoft nor Turn 10 have commented on the matter since, but if true, it would mark the end of the 20-year history of Microsoft's flagship racing series. It is not just Forza Motorsport, though, that might see the end of an era. The Need for Speed franchise had reportedly been put on hold, so developer Criterion could focus on the next Battlefield game. But in July, more indicators that publisher EA doesn't have any plans to bring back NFS emerged. Longtime car culture platform Speedhunters, which was financed by EA and featured in the Need for Speed games, has not published a new article since April, and that is because Speedhunters is on ice. EA shelved Need for Speed, and that means no more funding for the site, according to Speedhunters photojournalist and writer Matthew Everingham. The latest title in the series, Need for Speed Unbound, was released in 2022 and received its latest and likely last big update in November of 2024, with a couple of smaller patches following shortly after. After its debut in 2022, the Esports Racing League was announced to make its return in 2025. This series of events hosted by VCO is not your typical esports competition, however. Instead of focusing on a single title, ERL is taking place across 5 racing sims, namely ACC, Le Mans Ultimate, Gran Turismo 7, iRacing, and Rennsport. Adaptability will be key, and the first batch of teams who want to prove that they got just that was announced in early July as well. The grid is set to include well-known teams such as BS Competition, Team Redline, RAG Esports, Williams, or Quanda Esports. The Esports Racing League's tentative calendar sees the competition start on September 13th. It's been a busy month for Project Motor Racing. The upcoming sim by developer Straight 4 Studios and publisher Giant Software had already announced its interesting career mode approach in late June, but July saw a slew of other exciting news. With its November 2025 release date still on the horizon, more content for the title was confirmed in July. Circuit Zolder was officially announced, although that had clearly been visible in the June career mode trailer already. Then, the Praga Bohema joined the list of cars available in PMR, and not even a week later, the game's 2026 content roadmap was confirmed. Racing fans were pleased to learn about the inclusion of Le Mans for the track list, as well as the fire-breathing Group 5 turbo cars, such as the Ford Zaxby Turbo Capri, Japanese GT500 machines, plus GTP and LMP1 prototypes. Additionally, the sim was announced to be playable at the Goodwood Festival Speed in July, as well as Gamescom in August. Even cooler though, if you stop by our OverTake community night on August 19th, the day before Gamescom, you can actually play Project Motor Racing even earlier than that, right in our office in Cologne. All you need is a free ticket that you can grab here. And if you want to give the sim a go on your home setup as well, that should soon be possible too. As Straight 4 announced, applications for the Factory Driver program, a gamified way of testing PMR and giving feedback to the developers, will be open soon. That soon turned out to be 3 days later, as the program started accepting applications on July 28th. We're eager to dive in, and we hope you are just as eager to subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you tuning in for this video, and subscribing as well as liking and sharing the video helps us massively. But now, back to July's news story. July was also busy for RaceRoom. Not only did it start a Super Touring Championship that we actually take part in a community-designed Audi A4, developer KW Studios also announced that every piece of content in RaceRoom will be free to play for anyone between July 18th and August 18th. A perfect opportunity to try certain content you've been eyeing for a while or some obscure but fun combinations. Connor has put together his 3 favorites. You can check them out here. The free-to-play period marks the start of the RaceRoom summer campaign, as was announced shortly after. Following that, a big summer sale will take place from August 21st to September 14th. After that, the biggest update of the year will be launched, promising new content and features. A new teaser image of the Lamborghini SC63 strongly hints at the arrival of the LMD H-Class in the sim to happen in September. The class arrival had been officially announced in June already. After 1.5 years, Le Mans Ultimate lost the early access tag. The sim saw the launch of its version 1.0 on July 22nd, introducing free 2025 content like the popular Aston Martin Valkyrie and a number of changes to the game itself, most notably an improved UI, particularly the screen setup, and extra round of tweaks to the LMGT3 tire model. More is to come too. ELMS content is being developed and Silverstone has already been previewed. It is safe to say that the 1.0 release caught the attention of the sim racing world. On release day, LMU bettered its previous record of concurrent players by over 2,000, clocking more than 8,300 players simultaneously online. For offline-only players, however, they're still missing features, such as the championship mode. Our colleague Angus has taken a closer look at LMU 1.0 from the single-player perspective, and you can find his review here. Meanwhile, one of the most requested features was finally announced to make its debut in Le Mans Ultimate, the first special event featuring online driver swaps were the 6 Hours of Qatar, held across multiple time slots on August 1st and 2nd. After serving as the platform for Sim Formula Europe's on-site tournament in January, there had not been much in terms of news about the last garage. July changed this, however, as creator Marcel Offermans revealed to the OverTake community in a new dev update. A 2-seat, 4-monitor rally rig powered by TLG, the first sim using the engine being in development together with BAC, a Donkerford collaboration to develop the manufacturer's upcoming car virtually, and in real life in parallel, it's safe to say that Marcel has kept busy. Interestingly, the former Studio 397 managing director has also started implementing Simocube's open-source driver interface technology into the engine. The goal of this? The last garage should output pedal data for different cars for active pedals to use, so players will not have to load specific profiles anymore. The pedal behavior will be baked right into the sim instead. Following his dev update, Marcel also sat down to answer a number of questions the OverTake community had in depth, with some incredibly interesting insight as the result. Check out the Q&A in the article here. As the first event of its kind in the United States, Sim Gaming Expo 2025 is looking to not only bring exciting exhibitors to Schaumburg Renaissance Convention Center in Chicago, but also an on-site competition. In July, the online qualifiers for the Sim Gaming Expo Challenge Series kicked off in iRacing, and the fastest 75 sim races would move on to round 2 on August 9th, 2025. This time consisting of races, not time trials. The 30 drivers that prevail there will then tackle the semifinals and finals live at Sim Gaming Expo 2025 from September 5th to 7th. If you haven't grabbed your tickets yet, now is the time, and you can even save 10% if you enter the code OverTake10 at checkout. Even better, if you are an OverTake Premium member, you can even get 20% off your Sim Gaming Expo tickets. Chris tells you how to do it in its latest community letter, which you can find here. A new dedicated NASCAR game lines up on the grid after years without one, and it marks the quasi-debut of iRacing on consoles too. NASCAR 25 could be considered a spin-off of iRacing that recreates the full season of NASCAR action, including a career mode and series that are lower on the ladder. In late July, it was finally confirmed that the game would be released on October 14th, 2025. Truck sims are fairly popular among sim racers, even though the pace in a big rig is much more tame compared to purebred race cars. But for many, not searching for the limit of adhesion in a high horsepower racing machine for a change is exactly why truck sims are nice, relaxing change of pace. American Truck Simulator is one of the most popular titles in this genre, but it will soon not just feature trucks. As announced in late July by SCS Software, ATS will get a DLC called Ford Carpack, which will introduce the 1967 Ford Mustang, a 1998 to 2012 Ford Crown Victoria, the Ford F-150, and the Ford Bronco. Cruising the open road should become a bit of a different adventure as a result, and the inclusion of cars with off-road capabilities should make it easier to explore the environments in ATS. Formula 1 may have been on its annual summer break throughout most of July, but that certainly didn't mean that things were quiet in the meantime. While drivers and team staff enjoyed some well-earned vacation time, Red Bull Racing was the epicenter of a personal earthquake. Just days after the British Grand Prix, team principal Christian Horner was fired amidst the downturn of the team's fortunes in 2025. Horner had been with Red Bull since the very beginning. He had originally been appointed just before the 2005 season, the first one of the team after buying Jaguar Racing in late 2004. Reportedly, Horner's dismissal could have been a condition for lead driver Max Verstappen to stay with the team, although the Dutchman has been rumored to join Mercedes in 2026 anyway. It will be a spicy rest of the season regarding personal, it seems. And that concludes another long list of exciting sim racing news once again. We hope you enjoyed our latest edition of Sim Racers Monthly. Join us again next month for the latest news rundown, and in the meantime, check out our channel and website for all things sim racing. Thank you for tuning in, and see you soon.